I can't remember what was the last day I was on, but I honestly can't remember. I felt halfway decent today, so I figured I'll try and get back on for Minecraft later, but the weather's been crappy around here. I don't know if that's been having an effect on me or not, but um it was either yesterday or the day before. I think it was the day before, but I'm not 100% sure. It was like it was in the afternoon. I got to where I was feeling really. I'm not gonna say bad, but I got really lightheaded. I got really tired, and I went and laid down. And this was around. I want to say it was around noon 1 o'clock, and I slept until almost 4 or 5 o'clock, and then I had trouble getting to sleep that night, and then might even been 2 days ago. I don't know. And then I think next night I got to sleep, and I woke up at like 1 o'clock and wasn't sure why, because I don't think I might have got up to pee, but I don't think I got up to pee. And then the cat, and she wasn't in the middle of it when I woke up. She started getting sick. She got up and she got up and she got sick, but she went over and got sick in a really easy place to clean up. So she's a really good girl, really good girl. And it's got to be freaking confusing for the cat because when she gets sick because of a hairball or she's not feeling good, she's getting older. Uh, we don't really get mad at her, but she probably can't figure out. Well, then why can't I piss and shit wherever I want to, or whatever. So, the confusing life of a cat, and and well, that one there really screwed me up because I couldn't after I cleaned up her puke, I could not get back to sleep.
My hatred is too low.
You end here.
And and this is like the first name or whatever it is. I don't know how many days it is, but whatever it is, it's the first normal day I've had since then.
Not enough hatred.
This is a pain in the ass.
I need more hatred to do that.
Baba Yaga. Yeah, she steals and eats children. You know, if these things weren't real, if these were things people just dreamed up to scare their kids, parents used to be real fucking dicks. It's like, oh my god. Oh, fuck that guy. Yeah, this is the kind of shit that was happening the last time. It's like... This is a pretty good character, but this one here is really weak when you start the game out. Jesus Christ, I've been over here like about a dozen times. Why aren't these fucking assholes dead? This one came from an area I wasn't even in.
Not enough hatred. I need more hatred to do that.
Now it'll be a little easier. I got one and now two of these guys taken out.
My hatred is too low. Not enough hatred.
I expected more.
Oh. Yeah, I play this game, Ebony. It's highly, I like it. It doesn't have a lot of, it's good. I don't spend any money on it. You can actually play it. I mean, I guess it helps. You can actually play it and do halfway without spending a whole lot of time. You can get pretty good at it. You don't have to. You can. You play a lot more, but you do not have to play it all day long. And you can actually get pretty powerful without coining if you are strategic and you're a little careful. And it's not so much me. I have a lot of help in the game. A lot of decent people. It's like any other game. There are some assholes. There absolutely are some. But there are some assholes in it. I really don't know what's going on, but somebody in our sector, and I'm not gonna get
I need
into
more hatred to do that.
but somebody in our sector was accused of something without any proof, you know, and you had like it's either 1, 2, or 3. I think it's the same guys that were doing this before. Like when I joined this alliance like a little over a month ago, something like this was going on with another alliance in the sector, and I didn't know anything about. I really don't know that much about this one either, but I at least know a little bit more about this one than the other one. And
Not enough
this
hatred.
might be an early stream too. I got this on like fucking. I think this is the easiest fucking level I can have it on.
I am returning to town.
And these guys are just way too fucking hard. Yeah, fuck this shit.
I need to go back.
I don't know what they did, but I'm gonna go read just in case, because this thing got fucked up and I had to re-download the whole thing. I'm just gonna go ahead and get out of here. Okay, game settings, adventure, act 1. This is the easiest fucking setting on this thing. They need, I don't know what it is. I think they're just trying to fuck with people to get them to go to they're making it so hard to fucking play at the, like, you can't get anything on the harder levels. Now, maybe they'll spend their money and move up to our new game. It's kind of like the phone companies nerfed their fucking shit to make you upgrade. I think they're doing that here. This is just fucking ridiculous.
My
But,
hatred is too low.
I gotta be honest, I don't have a dog in the fight. I really don't. But they were doing, they fucked with the one guy, and this is like a little over a month ago. And and this is the one thing I like about the sector is,
I need more hatred to do that.
what they do is instead of fighting and scrambling, they have the 5 biggest alliances in that sector. They rotate being king of the sector, and they figure, and they've got rules like if you are an alliance, you are not supposed to be attacked. But you can attack anybody that is not in an alliance. And it's to promote people to band together and try to build something, and they cut down on the in-game fighting in our sector, so we can all grow and be stronger for the sector versus sector shit. And the competitions with the other sector, it makes a lot of sense. It's very, very good. It makes a lot of sense. Well, I didn't know anything about it and I was in the sector, but the fucking alliance I had been with, and it was a good alliance. I liked it. They just weren't very active. It wasn't just that there weren't a lot of people in it. It just wasn't very active. Because I'm not that active in the game. Like right now, the alliance I'm in now, I'm like the least active player in it. Nobody's complaining. Absolutely nobody's fucking complaining.
To do that.
But excuse me. And They did. They stirred up the same thing, and then they got the World Council to agree that that alliance wouldn't get to rotate on the king anymore. And that guy flipped the fuck out. And again, I didn't really I thought he was overboard, but I didn't know enough about it to judge him. I really didn't. But he flipped out and he started attacking the ones that were causing the problem. You know? Well, they did the same thing. As far as I can tell, they did the same thing to the leader of another alliance. And I was telling my group, I go, it looks like they got 3 or 4 people, maybe. Could be one guy with multiple accounts, I don't know. But it sounds like they got one guy in that alliance who
Not enough
is
hatred.
either making shit up or taking something and just blowing it way out of proportion so they can make a big fucking deal, keep people from rotating to their turn in the king. And that one there, that guy made such a big mess of it, they finally like, okay, well, we got to stop this. Well, it didn't work with that one. I think they did poach some people from it. Some people left that alliance, and a lot of them joined the fucking whining group. And they did the same thing to this group. I think they had like a half or 2/3 of their alliance just vanished.
My
They were
hatred is
pretty
too
big.
low.
And a lot of them, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them joined that alliance. Well, they were making this stuff up. Maybe. It could be real. I don't know. I honestly don't. But they were saying this stuff, and I'm going to say making up because when they were asked to provide proof, well, then suddenly the fucking excuses came out. You know, and I'm like, well, hey, look, I'm old enough. I've learned you don't really want to believe rumors without any proof. So, you know, I asked the leader of that fucking group of whiners, and it ain't even really a group of whiners. We're talking about a couple people. But I go, can you ask the 1 or 2 people who are spreading this shit to actually show some proof of it? Because I go, if they're not willing to show any proof, I go,
I
the
need more
adults in
hatred
the
to do that.
chat here should not believe any of it. They just shouldn't. I go, they should either provide the proof or they should knock it the fuck off. You know, and I go, the same thing with not having that guy, you know, whatever they're doing, because he really flipped out on that. And again, I don't really, you know, I'm not going to be king either way. So like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight. But if he didn't do anything wrong, and they're either making this up or they're exaggerating it, you know, I could see where you might be a little upset. And, but I said if they're not gonna, if you know, they're gonna say this shit without proof, everybody should just ignore it. And I go, you guys should undo your little vote and all this other bullshit, because nobody has shown any proof.
My name is Lockdown, and I'm cursed.
And
once the captain of King the Oryx Army,
then some
I
of the
left only
people
to
from
honor
the
my
other
land
groups, and
my
I
king.
think they're in the
No man has a
leadership,
greater
you know,
love
I'm
for his
not.
king than I had for mine.
One of
Even as
them
I
basically said, you know, hey,
drove my blade
I
through
really
his
don't
dark
want to
and
morally
corrupted
judge
heart.
anybody. And there were a couple people that said, yeah, I agree with, you know, AFKC. If there's not any proof, why are we believing this? You know, and these were not from my group, and they weren't from the group in question. And they're like, yeah, why are we believing this stuff without proof? And then one of the girls, and again, I honestly don't know if she's just friends with somebody, or maybe she really is just a good person who cares about the issue. Well, she sent me a friend request, and she goes, well, what proof do you want? And I told her, I go, hey, I would like some kind of proof that anything actually happened and it wasn't consensual. You know, because I go, if this is a case where somebody's
My
upset
hatred is
because
too
they
low.
were screwing around and it didn't go as far as they wanted it, or whatever, I go, I don't want to be a part of that. I go, I need to know that this was absolutely not consensual. You know, it wasn't something where, oh, well, she agreed to it, and then suddenly she was mad at the guy. Maybe he didn't call her, or maybe he wiped his dick on the curtain. I don't know, but I didn't really say this to her because I really, just in case she was one of the ones and she was really, you know, shit on. I really didn't want to say anything mean, you know. And I told her, I go, you know, and look, if you or anybody you know or any other women in here were actually harassed, I go, I am really sorry that happened to you. And I told her, I go, you know, a number of years ago, there were some women I worked with. I go, they appeared to be trading sex for special treatment. And I go, I put a stop to it. I go, it took some effort. I go, they were putting quality at risk, maybe safety, and they were violating the contract. And I go, and some of those girls, when they finally got put on the jobs they were supposed to, a lot of them quit because they didn't want to fucking work. They couldn't do the fucking easy gravy jobs that they had no right to. They didn't want to be there. And, you know, but I told her, I go, that's what it looked like. I really don't know what it was, but I go, there was something going on where they were getting special treatment. And it was violating our contract. It was putting quality and possibly safety at risk, and they were just doing it. And I go, well, then some of them made up some shit about me and tried to get me fired. And I go, and then that didn't work because I didn't do anything wrong. They completely made it up. I go, then what happened was, I said, you know, a few months later, I started getting sick. And I go, I am pretty sure I was drugged or poisoned for being, you know, a whistleblower on this stuff. And I told her, I'm honestly not sure I can be objective. I go, I'm really not sure I can be objective in this. But I told her, I go, think about it, you know, think about it from just a normal person who doesn't know what's going on. I go, if what happened hasn't risen to the level where any of these women want to report it to the game, or if the game looked at it and there was nothing wrong, I go, why are we supposed to care? I don't get it. I go, if he broke some game rules, turn him in. You know, go take your evidence to the game. Don't fucking drag it out for us. And get the game to do something about it. And I go, if it isn't something the game can do anything about, I go, why are we supposed to care? I go, on some of the stuff that was said in chat, I go, it sounds like it's a police for law enforcement. Not, you know, I don't understand what anybody thinks the fucking world chat is going to do in this game. Because I go, you know, one, again, if they want people to believe, they should show hardcore, world-class evidence, stuff that had been doctored. You know, don't give, and I didn't say this either, but don't give us the Hunter Biden treatment. Don't give us the Benghazi treatment where you take an issue and make a big deal out of something that just isn't, you know, just isn't that big. It isn't what you're making it out to be. They did that. AOC caught it. They were putting doctored evidence into the record on the Benghazi hearing. And the thing is, the news show I watched, they showed the little shithead from Florida that did it. When she was calling it out, the look on his face said, oh, he knew it was bullshit. He fucking knew it was bullshit. And he didn't care. They're a bunch of fucking lying pieces of shit in that fucking terrorist cult MAGA party. They just don't give a fuck. They will steal an election. They will lie. They will doctor evidence. They will make shit up. And I'm sorry, this is just wrong. It's just absolutely wrong. And, but I told her, I go, you know, and then there were a couple other people in there, and they were actually, this was after and again, I don't know if I had something to do with it, I'm really glad. But, they were saying that, yeah, this stuff shouldn't be in the chat. Like the one guy said, I don't want to morally judge anybody. And he said, but, you know, for anybody out there, especially the women, don't give people your personal information. Just don't. And he said, and if you feel somebody did something wrong, you should, and then, you know, so I'm like, thank God. So it looked, you know, but then after that, and these were, I think, if not the leaders of the different alliances, they were higher ranking people, and they were calling for an end to this shit. And then later that night, a whole bunch of them, like a couple of these guys started it all up again. They go, oh, he's a pervert. You should do this. You should do that. You should block him, blah, 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 blah. And there was somebody that had commented to me, and she's in that guy's group, and I don't really know her, but I told her, I go, hey, look, I go, I agree with you 100%, but I go, everything is coming from your alliance. I go, the one or two people that are in your alliance that are pulling this shit, I go, you as an alliance need to let them know that, they've got to, if they're going to be, this was implied, but I'm like, if they're going to be a part of your alliance, they either got to grow up and stop this kindergarten shit. I go, and that's up to you guys to do it. You guys need to take care of the crap in your alliance. And then there was someone that used to be in my alliance. She made a comment that she didn't think it was right for those women to be outed. And I told her, I go, look, I don't think it's right either, but I go, it sure as hell isn't right to blame this guy with no proof. I mean, I could go in there and whatever the dude's name is, because like a couple of these guys have changed their name since a month ago. They're the same people, same accounts, but they've changed their name. I could go in there and basically accuse them of molesting farm animals. I could go in there and say, oh my God, you shouldn't trust him. You should block him because he was molesting a dead horse. And what they did to this other guy would be no different. They threw this shit out there with absolutely no proof and had people buying this shit. And it's like, I'm sorry, it's just wrong. Come on. Come on.
Sweet revenge.
That took a few of them.
My hatred is too low.
But that's what they did to this guy. But at least today when I was on, it didn't seem like there was any of that shit going on. And somebody had made the comment, well, good, maybe the drama's gone. But I'm sorry, if something, if something isn't enough for you to take to the fucking game chat, well, don't expect us to fucking do anything about it. I'm sorry. Oh, the call to action. Write your legislators, if you don't mind, please do. Write your legislators at all level and ask them to legalize assisted suicide. I've got health issues. They do not appear to be getting better. And I watched my, and again, regardless of what happens, doesn't seem like getting on disability. And I'm not trying to take away from anything else, but it sounds like what is wrong with me enough if I was a drug addict or an alcoholic or probably had a shitload of kids I couldn't pay for. And I'm glad they're getting help. I really am. I'm not trying to take away from them. But if what's wrong with me would qualify me for disability if I was a drug addict, then it should qualify me for disability because I'm not a drug addict. That there shouldn't be a quota on fucking that that shouldn't be a qualifying thing. With what's wrong with me, if it qualifies, it qualifies. I shouldn't have to be a second-class citizen to a drug addict. I really should. I shouldn't get treated any better, but I shouldn't be a second-class citizen to a fucking drug addict. I'm sorry. That's just I don't know what to say.
These creatures won't go down.
And I shouldn't have to lie about being a drug addict just to get some fucking help. It's like this is the thing. Like we noticed at General Motors, they had a fucking program for people that had like restrictions and that. Well, if you were someone that really needed them, you were usually screwed. But the people that knew how to massage that system, they seemed to get away with fucking murder. One of the guys, when they started shutting our plant down, it was my team leader at the time. He made a comment because he got bumped out of the team leader group when they went down to. They did it in stages. Like originally they went down to one shift and then they ran for a little bit longer, and then they got rid of the one shift. You know what? Fuck this. Those guys are too hard to kill. I might end this stream. If I gotta keep fighting that one, I'll do it again.
The light grows stronger within you.
But yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, seriously, because it's like I watched my mom die. I was the primary one taking care of her when she got sick, and nobody should have to. I mean, if that's what she wanted, fine, but you should have the option to not have to starve to death or basically die of thirst, which is what happened to her. Because like I would say it was at least a week, maybe longer, that she couldn't eat, and then I want to say 3, 4, 5 days before she died, she wasn't really drinking that much. And you just need better options. I mean, we take care of our pets better than that. And the idea that we're stuck with this because of a fucking bunch of religious nuts in this country, tell them to die however they want, But I would at least like to have that option because, we watch kids die all the time, and they did finally. I don't know. The Republicans are gonna probably challenge it, and these fucking morons in SCOTUS are gonna be like, "Oh, we can't have that." But they're doing something at the White House to stop gun violence. But we watch kids die in school shootings all the time. We watch sick family members die all the time because the insurance company and the hospitals don't want to fucking pay for it. Well, if we can watch people die because, we've got people with tiny dicks that love guns and don't want to follow the law, and if we got to watch people die because hospitals and insurance don't want to pay for it, well then I'm sorry, you should be able to fucking, Kevorkian was right. We need this option. So please do that. And then the other thing is, now this one here, I think it's only going to do you any good to write your federal representatives in Washington, but you can also write the president. You can go right on his website. Basically, Senator Christian Gillibrand, I believe. My understanding is, and I've heard somebody try to give it, it's like you can't give a woman credit, I guess. They're trying to give some guy credit for her bill, but her and I think Senator Rubio, I think her and Senator Rubio wrote it, and it is an amendment for the intelligence authorization, the one that funds the intelligence community for like a year. That one there will help try to disclose, maybe not everything we want, but hey, I'll take a half a loaf over full loaf. That's all we can get. But it will start to make UFO accountability a thing. And But that one there, we need it to come up and we need them to pass it. The other one, because I haven't even heard them talking about it, was mentioned, but right after she started talking about this, the Pentagon's like, oh, you want something done on you? We'll start a UAP task force, and they've been fucking the dog for over a year on that. They really have. It was over a year, and the task force they created at the Pentagon did not have a phone number you could call. It did not have a website you could visit. It did not have an email address. After a fucking year. And I kind of reached out to him and I go, look, how much more do you need to know? They are fucking with you. And I told him, there's a movie HBO did called Pentagon Wars. I recommend you all watch it because it's based on actual events, and it literally shows how the military fucked with Congress to cover shit up and to hide shit. And I go, it looks like they're doing a lot of that shit to you right now. And I go, it's been said by people who worked in the military that there are people at the higher echelons who think that this is, something against God. They're fucking religious nuts, and they don't want this investigated because they think the Bible tells them all they need. I go, these people should not be in charge of it. And I go, here's another thing. After a year, I go, they're clearly fucking with you. They want money, and they're not going to do a goddamn thing. So I go, you got to get it away from the military. And then, then they, the big NASA briefing, and like the one guy said, because this was not a hearing, this was a press conference. But NASA basically said that they were not going to look back. They weren't going to look at anything classified. They were just going to look publicly going forward. And I kind of reached out to them again. I go, look, NASA is a joke. I go, you can't leave it at NASA. I go, NASA was supposed to come and talk to you guys, and the military bullied them. I go, it's no better going to NASA than leaving it where it is. I go, and I didn't say this, but to me, this is just like the rape issue. It has been a proven thing that you can't trust the military. I go, you really need to start a new group that will be in charge of this, something equal to the National Defense or National Department of Intelligence, the NDI or whatever they created after 9/11. I go, it needs to be on that level. I go, it needs to be like the Energy Commission that Truman started after World War II. I go, this is something big. And I go, you need to start a group. And I go, that group needs to take over everything that could be UFO related. They need to have the full authority to declassify it. And, they need to be able to declassify everything. And I go, they have to have the ability to create a special prosecutor so that if they find people that are withholding stuff for them, or if they find people that are breaking the law, like say misappropriating funds, let's say they're taking money from Project A, stealing it or embezzling it, and either put it in their pocket or they're giving it to an unknown project that we don't know and was never approved. I go, they need to have the ability on their own to prosecute these people. And they need a special prosecutor that they are in charge of for this. And I go, that's what you need. And I go, I don't know what we're going to find. Maybe we'll find UFOs. Maybe we'll find archaeological stuff. Maybe we'll find just a big fucking boondoggle of stolen money for stuff. I go, I don't know, but we're going to find something. Because I go, you had that guy that came before Congress. I go, he was recommended to you by an inspector general who said, I looked into his claims and they're credible and they're urgent. And I go, when he came before Congress, he told you guys that alien craft had been recovered, bodies had been recovered, people had been hurt or killed. I go, he when he was asked about that, he didn't say, oh no, that's crazy. He just said, hey, I got to be careful talking about this, but anybody that brought that information to me, I directed them to the proper authorities to go report it. And he told Congress flat out that there was money being misappropriated. It was just that simple. don't. Yeah, I don't want to do any of that yet. Don't want to do that yet. If I'm having trouble with these, I'm just gonna back off, and because I think it's getting close to feet. Yeah, it's, well, no, I think quite 10 o'clock yet. Um, but I told them that's what you guys need, and I go, they need to set it up where everything that comes before them, everything will be reported to the president. The president, the vice president, and the Gang of Eight. Everything has to get reported to them. And I go, what you need is you need many teams that can investigate the new stuff. Anything new that comes up. Yeah, there's like a fucking asshole standing right in front of me. Oh no, let's shoot the guy that isn't trying to cut your head off with a fucking axe. Love the fucking game. That I can't blame on them for fucking up. That's the way it's always been. And yeah, let's get that done. And then the other one, this one I've heard is coming up for a vote, and it sounds like it's got bipartisan support to pass it in the Senate. I don't know about the House. And you know, but the thing is, the House has got bigger things to worry about because they're trying to impeach the president, and their star witnesses and even Fox News is saying, yeah, this doesn't look like anything real. This just looks like, you know, they brought in their top legal expert, a fucking constitutional law scholar, and he said, well, because I just want to be clear, you know, when he started his testimony, he goes, I just want to be clear that this is just a committee hearing talking about the impeachment process. This is not the impeachment process. This is not even a vote to authorize an impeachment process. And then he goes, I don't believe the information, the evidence that's been presented so far rises to the level to qualify for an impeachment. You know, so they're basic legal guys. Yeah, the evidence you got ain't there. You know, it just isn't. And then, like, another one came up, and the guy, I don't know who he is. He's one of these guys you don't see very often. And he kind of talked to her about her testimony.
Always wanted to fight some of these.
This is going to be a short stream. I'm not gonna. They're just too hard. I mean, and again, this is the easiest fucking setting I could put it on. I want to play with a hardcore character, but this is fucking ridiculous. It's like, you know, there needs to be, I guess, an easier setting. What was the one? Emotional damage. Yeah, that, I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, fuck this. I'm out of here. I might go back. I got some better gear now. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where I'm at here.
I wish I could do that.
Can't get out. Okay, I'm gonna call the stream. I will try to come back with Minecraft. I don't know what they've done, but they got they gotta fix the difficulty on this. Talk to you later. Hope everybody has a good day.